Sorry, this I do.
No.
Okay, I'll just do a recap at last once more. Okay.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
In order to create any custom pipe, we need to create one file, and that file extension will be .pipe.ts. And this decorator, which decorator is used for creating the pipe?
At the rate pipe.
At the
Yep.
rate pipe. What are the parameters that will be included in this decorator function?
Name,
And
format.
name for this pipe. Okay, this is your wish. Whatever you want to give, you can give one name. And like any component, we also create one class, and the class name will be sample pipe, and where it has to implement on, it will implement on which interface?
Pipe transform.
Pipe
what,
transform.
what method it is providing? What method? Transform method it will provide. Okay, so let me just do pipe transform. Okay, and you see there was some error, this red line meaning error. Okay, I'll just hover on it. Class simple pipe incorrectly implements the interface pipe transform. Property transform is missing in the type simple pipe but required in the type pipe transform. So how should I fix this? What I showed here, this is like a
Method.
property, this is like a value. This is like a property. Yeah. Yeah, it is telling what it is telling.
Class implements pipe transform.
Okay. Class incorrectly implements interface transform. I am asking how should I fix this error? Do I need to write anything so that this error will be gone?
Sample.pipe.
Sample.pipe is already existing, right? What I said, is it an optional or required?
Required.
Required. So does it there in this file? It's
No,
required.
Anusha.
No.
No.
Yes. So
Yeah. Yeah, Vishal.
we we sh we should write that line as well
Yeah, you need to write that line transform method. Okay. Then,
because it is required. So
yes. Are you seeing any error right now? No. Am I correct? Okay. Okay. Now, whatever transformation we want to do, we can do it here. Okay. Let me just quickly show you what I will do. I need to declare whenever any pipe is created, we need to declare it. Am I correct? Whenever
yes,
any
Anusha.
component or anything is created, it has to be declared. Okay, the declaration things where we will do, we will do it in the module file. Am I correct?
Yes, Amish.
Okay, let me just declare it. Okay, and let me just run this application and check. Setup thing I will explain you tomorrow so that you can set up one Angular project and you can work on them. So this is the command. I'll tell you where you can check. So you are seeing some commands here. There is a file called package.json. Okay. Okay, and you can see start, which means starting of the application. If you want to start the application, this is the command which is used. Okay, if you want to start this particular application, this is the command which is used, ngserve. Did you understand?
Yes, Anusha, I can.
There is one file called package.json. Okay, and if you want to start this application, you can use this command they are telling. So you can just directly use ngserve. Okay, and when you run that command, what will happen, this entire application will be compiled, and you will be given one localhost URL. Okay, you can copy this URL and you can paste it in the browser. Okay, and your Angular application will start working. Okay, so now what I said, we have created the pipe. Okay, now what we will do, we'll just go to some app component here. Okay, and I will create one sample name. Okay, so here there is already name, so I will create it as an Anusha. Okay, and I will access it in my HTML using string interpolation. Okay, and I can just give name. Okay, now how should I use a pipe?
The rate of pipe.
How should
Pipe.
I give?
Symbol.
Pipe
Pipe.
symbol you need to give, and the name of the pipe. What is the name of the pipe here?
Format name.
Format name, very good. You can just copy it here and you can just paste it here. Okay, right now it is this method. What is the return value of this method? What is
Any.
the return type?
Onions.
Return type of this transform method. Does it containing any return keyword?
No, Anusha.
No, Anusha.
Now what will be
No.
returned? Nothing will be returned. It will be void, right? The return type will be.
Yes, Anusha.
It's void, right? Okay. Now if you save this, okay. And wait a minute. Am I using anywhere else? This is coming from child component. Sorry, wait a minute. Let me clear all the HTML so that you'll better understand. Still you are able to see some UI. Now, actually, I have used the H1 tag here and I have given the name. Okay, just if I just remove this pipe. Okay, now you can see Anusha. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Suppose if I'm using this pipe, okay. Are you able to see? Are you able
No.
to see Anusha? No. Why? Because this Anusha value has, if you do just console.log of value, right? Okay. And you will see the value as Anusha in the console. Okay. Sample 511. Are you able to see here?
Yes, Anshu.
Why it was not showing? Because this value Anusha has been converted to undefined, which means that we are not returning anything from this method. If we return some value from this method, then that value only will be visible here. Okay. Suppose if I directly return whatever value I have received, suppose return value. Okay. Now if you can check, it will show Anusha. Okay. Suppose whatever manipulations we want, we can do it. What we said, we can just do return value dot slice of 0, 1 to uppercase. Okay. And value dot slice of 1. Yeah. Now what will be returned? What is the value here? What is the value of value here?
Anusha.
So what I have done, I have done some formatting and I have returned that. Now what will be returned? Can you tell? For your purpose, I will write it will be Anusha. Okay. Now what will happen here?
A capital letter
A
Anusha.
capital.
Very good. It will be a capital letter and Nusha will be added. Am I correct? Now let me just save it. You can see it, right? What I have sent normal Anusha, but we have transformed it to our desired format and we are showing that in our HTML. For this purpose, we can create our own custom pipes. Any doubts, anyone till now? Any doubt?
No.
Okay. What are pipes used for?
To
To
transfer.
transform
transform it.
data.
To transform the given data. Are there any inbuilt pipes?
Anshu.
Yes.
Yes.
What are they?
Like to upper
Uppercase.
Uppercase,
Our-
uppercase or lowercase.
percentage
Okay.
pipe.
Percentage, even percentage pipe is there. How to create
Data
custom
pipe.
pipes? Custom meanings implementing our own pipe is called custom. Okay. If you have written something, that is called as a custom. Okay. What are custom pipes? How to create them?
@pipe.
We need to create a file name called
Sample.pipe.ts.
any name. Okay. Name.pipe.ts. And we need to decorate with what decorator?
At the rate pipe.
At the rate of pipe decorator. And what will be given in the decorator?
Name.
Name for the pipe will be given. Please be active. Then, okay, let me create one more pipe. Okay. Now tell me, what should I do? I have created one pipe file name called sampipe.ts. Now what should I do?
With the help of decorator, we'll start like @pipe.
To declare with at the rate of pipe decorator. Okay. And then
Name.
And we
name for the pipe. Okay. For example, Sam. Okay. Then,
Export.
okay. Export then
Sam.
class. Okay. Then,
Sam.
I have to give that file name.
we have to give the name of the pipe. Then
transform,
It has to, what it will do? Every class implements on interface. Am I correct? What interface?
Yes.
What is that interface?
Pipe interface.
Pipe transform. Okay.
Yeah,
Pipe
pipe.
transform interface. Okay. And now, if we are using the pipe transform interface, what method we should use in this file?
transform,
Transform method should be used. Okay. And it receives some input. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, Anusha.
Okay. Now, whenever we create any pipe, what we should do? Whenever we create any pipe, any component, what we should do?
declare,
Yeah, we
Declare-
should declare it in the module file. And what
Module.
is the module file here?
app dot
App.mod.
App.module.ts. You will give it here, okay? And you can just select this and you can see this auto import, right? Add import from /sam pipe. Okay. You can just automatically import it. Now I will create one more thing. Okay. H1. Okay. And for the same name, how to apply this pipe, whatever I have created, let me show the SAM pipe. How to apply this SAM pipe here?
pipe
Pipe symbol, which is this symbol, okay? And then SAM, name of the pipe, okay? Now, what will be shown in the browser?
will be showing until it will not showing
Anything. Why?
We didn't return anything.
Return.
Because we
Until-
didn't return anything. Suppose if we return directly the value, what will be shown?
will be shown Sham.
Anusha. I sent the name value as Anusha. Am I correct? What is the name value here?
Anusha.
Anusha.
So what will be the value here?
Anusha.
Anusha. Okay. Now let me just show it in the HTML. Okay. Now what will be printed in the console? I mean, now what will be shown in the browser? What I have done? What I have done?
Use percentage.
What is the meaning of that? Whatever value I have received, what I have done?
Value.
Added percentage.
To that. Now what will be shown in the screen? What is the value here?
Anusha.
Anusha.
Now what will be the output here?
Anusha percentage.
Anusha percentage. What is this plus symbol is doing here? Concatenation, right? Yeah, why are you confused? Any doubt?
No, Anusha.
Now, if I say, now what will be shown in the screen? What is this format called as using backticks? What is this called as? Template rigorous, am I correct? Do you remember in JavaScript I told this? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, Anusha. I just forgot about that.
Okay, this is called string literal format, right? Using backticks. And then suppose if you want to access any value, variable name, you will just give the dollar and the square braces. And if you want to give any string, you know, you will just give the string type here. Okay. Suppose whatever you want to do. That will, this Anusha will be appended to this entire string. Instead of doing the string concatenation, suppose if you want to do string concatenation for these spaces, what we need to do? We need to first add Anusha and then some spaces. Am I correct? And again add this value. You people remember I told you.
Yes, Anusha.
And then what I have to do? Again, I need to add some more space. Okay. And then I need to again add the percentage. Okay. Instead of doing something stuff like this, entire thing we can do it in one line using template literal format. That is variable name you will directly access with dollar and the square, flower braces, and the whatever string you want to give, you can give it. Okay. Now what will be returned, you say? Anusha and that value percentage.
Percentage.
Any doubt, anyone? Suppose if I remove
No.
this, what will be shown? Anusha space and the percentage will be shown. Okay. Are you able to see? Suppose if I remove this space as well, Anusha percentage will be shown. Any doubts, anyone?
No, Anusha.
Okay. You understood, right? How to create the custom pipes?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes,
Oh.
Anusha.
Okay. What are the life cycle hooks? Do you remember?
NG on init, NG on changes, NG
Okay.
destroy.
NG on destroy and then NG do check. Okay. What is the use of NG on changes life cycle?
It is used to change.
When it will get triggered actually?
If there is any changes in the data, it will get triggered.
Whenever there is a change in the data received from the parent, then that life cycle hook will keep on triggering. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Okay. Let me tell you about observable concepts. Okay. What is an observable in Angular? Okay. So observables are like, these are very lazy. If we write any piece of code for an observable, that code will not execute. Okay. And these observables are like, whenever we make any API call in the Angular, you know, the return type of that particular API will be always an observable. And if we want to access the data of that observable, you need to use one function called subscribe. Okay, then only the actual API call will be made and we will get the response from that particular API. Okay, let me just tell you. And let me just tell you what is an how to make an API call as well. Okay, and you can see here, right? You can see something called HTTP client. So in order to make any API call in the Angular, you need to use this HTTP client, which is provided by the Angular directly. Okay. This HTTP client, what you will do, you will inject it in the constructor with a different name. Okay. Let me just show you a sample here itself. This is the getting started application. Okay. So if I want to make any HTTP calls, what should I do? I need to use HTTP client. Okay. For that, let me remove all this code here. I don't know whether that particular package will be provided here or not. Okay. So we need to use something called constructor, and constructor is used for basically initialization purposes and all. We will be using the constructor. And if you want to make any HTTP calls, you know, you need to import HTTP client. Okay. HTTP client. Okay. And this particular thing you need to import. Okay, you need to inject it and then only you can make any API calls. For making API calls, we preferably use ng on init lifecycle hook. If I want to use ng on init lifecycle hook, what should I do?
It should get implement to
Implement on
in it.
on init interface, and it provides a method called ng on init. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Now what we can do, this on init also we need to import. Okay. Okay. And suppose if we want to make any get call, we will use this dot http dot get off and the URL we will give. For example, I have given some free API URLs, right? One website. Suppose if you go here and if you just click this API, let us see what will happen. So there were many entries. Let us copy this. Now we will go here. Okay. And we will just give the URL directly here. Okay. And let me just open it in a new tab and let me show. Next, if we are making any API calls, that calls will be visible in this network section. Okay. Right now, do you see anything in the network tab?
No, Anshu.
No. Suppose why? Because the return type of this HTTP, it's an observable. In order to, unless we subscribe to it, this piece of code will not execute and we will not get the data. Okay. For example, let me just show console log. I'll show you whether this will be printing or not. You can see this is printing. Am I correct? But are you seeing any API calls? No. Okay. Now let me do just one thing called subscribe. Okay. And we will get some data and that data we will take it as a callback. Do you remember the promises concepts, right? Yes or no?
Yes, I think promise.
Yeah. In the promise after dot, then what you will do? If it is success, you will take one success callback, or if it is a failure, you will take one failure callback. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
So this, if it is success, this piece of code will get executed. Okay. Now let me just refresh it. Are you seeing any API call? You can see there is one thing called entries and you can see its header. It is hitting https.api/aux and the request type is get and the status code 200 means success, right? And you can even see the response here. Okay. And let me just show you in the console log. You are able to see, am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Anusha. Yes, yes.
Yes, Anush.
Okay. And suppose if there is any failure, okay. Now let me just give error callback. Okay. And you can, if it is failure and these console log will print it, get printed. Okay. Error. Does the error callback is getting printed, that console log?
No.
No. Why? Because the API call has been succeeded, only successful response we will get. Suppose if it's failed, then we will get the error callback. Okay, but I'll tell you normal terms here. Okay, suppose if you want to use HTTP client, you need to import this HTTP client and you need to inject it into your constructor. Okay, and that API call, you will do it. And right now I'm not doing anything here, I guess. Okay, or let me just paste the code from here to there. Okay, you can just directly use this dot http dot get off and then URL you can give, and you can just subscribe to it, and you can get the response, and you can print the successful response. Suppose if it's an error, you can print the error failure. Any doubts?
No, Anusha.
Suppose if you are not using this subscribe, does this code will get printed? Does the API call will happen?
No, Anusha.
No.
We're not seeing anything related to entries here, right? That callback. I mean, that API call, you are not seeing, right? Suppose if you do it, are you seeing now?
Yes, Anusha.
Okay, this is how the observables work. This is called observable concept. And let me show you that HTTP things as well. You can see the get method, and you can see what is it return type. What is the return type?
Observe.
Observable of some array buffer they are mentioning, which means that it's an observable. Okay, observe, if we are using observables, we need to subscribe to that observables, then only we will get the data from that observable. Okay, and a simple example to show you how we can create an observable. Okay, we can use one keyword called of operator. Okay, and this of operator we will import from one library called RxJS. Okay, it's called reactive extensions of JavaScript. Okay, so to create one observable, how do you create, sample observable. Okay, observables you will usually end with dollar. In some companies they will follow this syntax of ending observable names with dollar to indicate that it's an observable. Okay, and what you can do, you can use one keyword called of. Okay, and if you want to give any name, you can give it. For example, Anusha. Okay, wait a minute. Array. You understood? If you want to create an observable, you can just do it using of operator. Okay, and what is the value that is being stored in observable? Anusha is the value that is being stored. Okay, if you want to give the type for this observable, what you will give? Observable of type. What is the type of Anusha? What is the data type?
String.
You will give observable of string. Okay, and suppose if you try to directly print this observable. Okay, let me just do console.log of observable, and this is sample observable. Okay, are you seeing? Are you able to see
Yes, Anusha.
what it is showing? What it is getting printed? What is this?
Observable.
Observable. You will not get a value from the observables until you subscribe to it. Okay. Suppose if you just subscribe to this observable, okay. Let me just do that. This dot sample observable dot subscribe, then you will get some response. Okay. And then what you can do, you can just print the console.log of now what will be printed? What is stored in this observable?
Anusha.
Anusha.
Now if we subscribe to that observable, what will be printed?
Anusha will.
Anusha.
Anusha will be printed. Okay, you can say it. Are you able to see? Anusha, response from sample observable. Okay. Suppose if you give it like, okay, Vishal. Now what will be printed?
Vishal from observables.
Vishal will be printed. Very good. Okay. Suppose if you give Kavya, now what will be printed?
Kavya.
Kavya will be printed. This is how observable works. If you directly do, suppose if you directly do console.log of name, what will be printed?
Anusha will be printed.
But if you do console.log of name dollar, what will be printed?
Observer.
Observable will be printed. If we want to, if we are subscribing to the observable and console logging the response from this observable, now what will be printed?
Anusha.
Why, Anusha? What this observable is storing?
Angular class teaching.
Angular class teaching will be printed. Any doubts, anyone? I guess this will
No.
be enough for today. Okay, we'll come back tomorrow. And now let us just rewind. What are pipes used for?
Transform.
Pipes used to transform that.
Transform the given data. Okay. And how many types of pipes are available? Inbuilt pipes and
types.
custom pipes. Correct?
Yes, Anusha.
So tell me an example of inbuilt pipe.
Data pipes, percentage pipes.
Uppercase pipe. Okay.
And percentages.
Lowercase pipe. You can see it has been converted to uppercase and lowercase pipe, lowercase pipe. Okay. How to create a custom pipe?
At the rate of pipe symbol is. Yes,
We will first what we will do? We will create one pipe file. Am I correct? What will be the path?
Yes.
What will be the file name? Name.pipe.ts. What will be present in that pipe file?
At the rate of pipe.
At the rate of pipe.
Pipe decorator will be used. Am I correct? You need to say at the rate of pipe decorator. And then Vishal,
Name is used, Anusha.
name is used. And then
export class class name sample.
name of the pipe will be given. And then
imports transform class.
it has to implement. Okay, a class has to implement at what interface?
Implement. Trans.
Pipe transform interface. Am I correct? If any class is implementing on pipe transform interface, which method should be used in that class?
Transform method, Anusha.
Transform method should be used. Suppose if we are creating any pipe, do we need to declare it anywhere?
Yes, Anusha. It is declared in
Module file. Okay. And in transform method, if you are not returning anything, then if you are using the pipe, what will be loaded in the HTML?
Nothing, I think.
Nothing will get loaded. If it is returning something, that something will get rendered in the web page. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Suppose if I want to make any API calls, what should I do? I need to use
HTTP,
I need to
HTTP
use
client.
HTTP client. Do I need to inject this HTTP client anywhere?
Yes, Anusha, constructor it is.
In the constructor, we need to inject. Okay. And give me what will be the return type of this dot HTTP dot get method?
Get, Anusha.
No, what will be the return type of that? So I
Response.
said, sorry, can you repeat it? What is the
Res-
return type?
This dot.
Yeah, this dot HTTP dot get of URL you are giving, right? What is the return type of this function? This get is a function, am I correct? If you are using braces, which means that it's a function. Okay. Now what will be the return type of the function? Observable. So if it is an observable, in order to get the value from this, what we should do?
Subscribe.
We need to subscribe. What are the two callbacks that will be provided in this?
Response and error.
Response and the error callback. When will the response be executed?
If it is
Successful.
true.
Suppose if it is an error,
then it will give error.
error callback will get executed. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how to create any observable? How to create any observable? This variable is an observable. Am I correct?
Yes.
Variable is an observable because it clearly says type is observable of type string, which means that this observable is storing something of string kind. Okay. What it is storing?
Angular class.
And what operator is used for creating the observable?
Off operator.
Off.
Of operator. This is from of operator is from what is this? RxJS, right? What you are seeing here? Are you there? Hello? Able to hear me? Yeah, I'm sorry. My network was very slow. Yeah. Which operator is used for creating the observable?
Observable.
Of, right. Observable.
Off.
Which operator is being used?
Off.
And this off operator is from
RxJS.
reactive extensions for JavaScript. Okay. And if I just do console.log of name dollar, what will be printed? If I do console.log of name dollar, what will be printed? Able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
What will be printed?
Observable.
Be printed. If I do this dot name dollar dot subscribe of response, then console.log of response, what will be printed now?
Angular class teaching.
That's it for today's class. We'll come back tomorrow. Okay. Bye everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, Anusha. Thank you.